Good morning, everyone, and welcome again to day two of Oracle Fusion Financials Cloud Training. Today, basically, we will be. Yesterday, we have had a demo on, a basic understanding on what is the application, Fusion application framework, and all those aspects. Today, we will start with the deep dive into Oracle, the applications and the other aspects related to our training. Okay. Let me share my screen and I'll share the agenda. One moment. Okay. Is my screen visible to all? All right. So the agenda goes like this: getting familiar with Oracle Fusion UI and navigational components. So that is the first thing that we will get familiar with. How to navigate around once you have logged in into the application. Okay, how you can navigate around the page, and how where you can go for setups, where you can go for transactional aspects. All those things we will do a walkthrough of the navigation part. Okay, and then after that, we will start with the security administration. These two topics between the enterprise structure and financial reporting structure, we will take it up later once we complete the security administration part. Okay, so to begin with, understanding the Oracle Fusion UI. Okay, we will understand the homepage navigations and some other aspects related to the financial offerings. Okay, so moving on to cloud. So again, as I mentioned yesterday, in case of Oracle Cloud applications, Oracle Fusion Cloud applications, you will get what? You will get a access of the application based on a URL. Okay, there is a URL that will be available, which is called environment or instance. Okay, and this environment or instance, for that, in order to go into that, you will need what? Login ID and password. Okay, so that is the credentials that you need to input in this place. Okay, so this is the welcome. This is the landing page, as it is called. Okay, and this page can be configured as per the business requirement to show, any message, any starting message that needs to be displayed on the landing page. Okay, then here you see there is an Oracle logo. This logo can be replaced as per with the company logo. Okay, the business that is purchasing the licenses and for whom we are going to implement. Okay, the instance or the environment for that company's logo can be placed here. Okay, then this section, so there are specific setups available, which later on, when towards the end of our training, we can take up these small things, to how to change the logo, or some other display items, how to change those things, we will see. But now, just to understand, these things are possible. Okay, now navigator, this is something called a navigator or a menu list. Okay, where you will find many things available. Okay, what are those? Basically, you will see all the work areas, okay, where you can work. So similar to yesterday, I gave an example, like if you are a payable accountant, okay, in the payables department, and you need to perform certain tasks related to payable invoice creation or payment creation, all those things. So that is where you will have to first go to what? The payable work area. Okay, so how can you go it? Based on the access that is provided to you for the payables, you will get something called payables in this section in the navigator. Okay, so this is called the navigator. Okay, so here you have payables as a work area, and then respective activity that you want to perform, you can go into those sections. Similarly, many things would be there. So as an employee, you need to, being an employee of your or in an organization, you need to perform certain activities related to the employee, like seeing your pay slips or payroll details. Similarly, your profile details or your employee IDs, everything. So those things you can navigate through the me section. So this is the me work area where you can get all the activities related to your HCM, human capital profile. Similarly, let's say, anything. So all these things that you see here, these are multiple workspaces or depending upon in the access that has been provided to you. Okay, depending upon the different functions or activities that you need to carry out in the business organization. So this is the navigator from where you can access those work areas. Okay. Just like in our normal mobile application, we have access to certain application, and then in order to perform certain tasks and all, we need to go to the menu section and choose different activities, right? The same way or the same functionality is there in this the navigator. Okay. Now this particular thing, that is the shape of a home. This is for to go to the home page or navigate to the home page. So if I click on this icon, it will take me to the home page of this particular environment. Okay, so this is the home page. Okay, and on the home page again, the work areas would be available, just like it is available in the navigator. Similar to that, it will be available to you at this place also, in this particular springboard also. Okay, all the work areas where through which the same things that you can see over here in the navigator, all those things will be available in here also. Okay, so just by scrolling to the right or to the left, you can go to the specific work area, and then under that you will find the task. So let's say, for example, the same example for payable, right? uh, I chose. So all the icons or the workspaces related to payables will be available here, and then according to that you can navigate. Okay, you can go to that specific work area. All right. Then this is the home page we have come to. Then the star. Okay. Favorite and recent items. So basically, any page you are in. Okay. Let's say, for example, you have gone to the payable invoice and invoice creation, and that is on a regular basis that you are using, and you want to mark it as a favorites tab. Okay. So that way you can mark that particular page as a favorite, and then those things will appear under this favorites icon. Okay, favorites and recent items. Okay, so recent items, depending upon the all the recent pages that you have gone to. Okay, it will show you all the recent pages that you have navigated to. Okay, favorite items will show all the pages and tasks which you have marked as favorite. Okay, you can add to the favorites tab. Going to a particular page, you can add it to a favorite tab. Okay, similarly, this is the watch list icon. Okay, now what is a watch list? Just like, a very simple example. You have your, what do you say, uh, stock trading application. Okay, in that you mark certain stocks as in the watch list, where you can easily monitor the stocks, right? The ups and downs, and the trends of the stock, all those things you want to monitor. So that is where you add those stocks as a watch list. Okay, for your continuous monitor. Similarly, there are many application based Oracle ERP application based functional area based certain data aspects which you want to monitor. Okay, those things you can add it under this watch list. Just let's say, for example, the number of invoices that are unapproved, let's say. Okay, you want to monitor. Okay, or as a watch list. Or similarly, let's say the number of invoices, okay, that are put on stop mode, okay, for any reasons. That means put on hold from payment. Okay, the number of those invoices you want to know. Okay, you want to monitor as a watch list. Okay, then you can add those in the watch list area. So this is a configurable item. Okay, and you can configure it from a certain settings and actions. Okay. Then this is a notifications icon. So notifications is basically any kind of notification that comes to you. So let's say, for example, uh, your user ID password has been reset. Okay, then in that case, the notification will come up. So generally notifications are, come up as an email also, depending upon if email notifications are configured. And then in this landing page also, you will get the notification. So when you click on this, so first of all, if there is any notification available, it will show as unread items. Okay, just like in our mails, it is highlighted as a black. In this case, the notification, it will show 1, 2, 3 in red highlight. Okay, and it will show how many number of messages are unread. Okay, now right now there is 0 messages unread, so there is no mark for the unread messages. Okay, now similarly, let's say for example, anything, you are an approver for let's say invoice. Okay, and the invoices are coming to you for approval. Okay, so how will you know? Okay, so you can go to this notification and check whether invoices have come to you for approval. Okay, it will give you all the approval notifications. Okay, so this is the notifications icon. Okay, then this is the settings and actions. Okay, the profile picture would be there if you set it. And then, under that, you will have the settings and actions. So many kinds of settings are available. Okay, setting preferences. So one of them is setting the preferences. So if I click on setting preferences, okay, you can go, it will take you to the page where you can set the general preferences. Okay, like the regions, the language, or your photo, or password. Okay, similarly proxies. Okay, that's something, when anyways, I will not explain right now into that. Later on I will explain it. Then watch list, the watch list which you can see here. Okay, first of all, you can set the preferences for watch list from this place. Okay, called the general preferences. So these are like, again, in our day-to-day operations, when we are operating through many applications. Okay, there we want to set our profile pic, or something like that. So all those general preferences, the same way you can set the preferences, so using these particular settings and actions. Okay, then all right. Now, as I mentioned, right, there are two things that we will see, okay, or we will work on. One is the setups or the configurations required with respect to the applications, right? And then the transactional aspects, right? So from where you can access the setup tasks. Okay, there are tasks, there are multiple tasks available for setups. Okay, and what is the place from where you can access the setup tasks? Okay, that is under the settings and actions. Okay, you have something called setup and maintenance. Okay, under the settings and actions, you have something called setup and maintenance, where you can navigate to and you can access all the setups. Okay, now again, this option will be available to you if you are given access for the setup and maintenance. Not all people will be having the access to do the setup and maintenance. So regarding the accesses, the security management, all things we will understand in the coming, if possible, we will start today, or if not possible, we will start, we will see it tomorrow. But again, this is depending upon the access. If you are the person who is supposed to do as a functional consultant, definitely you will be the person, you will be needing the access to do the setups. That is where it will be provided to you. And in here, under settings and actions, you will get the setup and maintenance. So when you click on that, this is the page that will come up. Okay. Now under here, you have to select the offerings. Okay. So the setup, this is for compensation management. Now this compensation management is part of human capital management. Okay, now for financials specifically, okay, you need to go to the financial offerings. Okay, so like that, depending upon the different applications for which the licenses have been purchased by Oracle, okay, the offerings would be available. Okay, and then depending upon what is your area, so you are a finance functional consultant, then you will have to access the financial setups. Okay, other people like the human capital management consultant will access the compensation management, or HCM commute, all these aspects. Okay, similarly, a supply chain person, he will have to access the, let's say, manufacturing and supply chain material management. Okay, that would be his place of doing the setups. Okay, for those applications he has to do the setups. Okay, similarly for customer management, that is the customer experience consultant. Okay, he will be doing all the setups in the customer data management, or for that matter, any other specific aspects related to the CX applications. Okay, that is the customer experience applications. So this is the offering area, or the setup offering, which you will have to select depending upon the your work area. Okay, you are a financial consultant, so therefore you will and you are supposed to do all the configuration related to financials, so you will go to the financials work stream. So this you have selected. Okay, and now you will see all the aspects that you can configure. So these are called functional areas under financials, or for that matter, any other domain. The functional areas would be listed. Okay, like initial user. So these are related to the user creation and all, or any other aspect that you want to set up or manage with respect to the users of the application. Okay, similarly, for you to relate, okay, I will say payable. So for payable application, whatever setup need to be performed, okay, that will be available under the payable functional area. So as soon as I clicked on payable, you can see there are certain tasks that are coming up. So these are called what? These are called the setup task, okay, with respect to certain applications or configuration area. Okay. Similarly, yesterday I mentioned, right, general ledger as an application. So any configuration that you need to do with respect to general ledger, you will have to click on you will have to first of all come under financials, and you will have to click on general ledger. Okay. So under general ledger, when I clicked on general ledger, you see all the setup tasks that are related to general ledger are appearing over here. Okay, under the general ledger functional area. Okay. Then similarly for payments, let's say in case of accounts payable, payment related setups are there. Okay. Then in that case, to configure the payment related setups, you will have to click on functional area of payments, and then you will get all the setups that are to be done for payables, or sorry, for payments. Okay. Now let's say, for example, if you don't know, okay, a specific task name, okay, or under which functional area exactly it comes under, okay, but you just know the task name, okay, certain keywords of the task name, okay, then in that case you can use this search or task pane, okay, in order to search for a particular task, for a particular set of tasks. Okay, so let's say, for example, I want to create a ledger or a set of book accounts. Okay, then or let's say I want to create a new currency, or I want to see a currency, okay, particularly. So I don't know under which functional area it comes. Okay, then I can do what? I can just enter keywords, okay, that is with respect to the currency, and then I can search it out. So let me say, I will say currency. Okay, and what is the wildcard character that you need to enter for the search, random search? The percentage is the character that you need to enter for a random search, for keyword search. Okay, and then I will click on this icon. So it is showing me all the tasks which has the name called currency. Okay, then I can click on manage currency. Okay, okay, manage currencies. So like this you can find, okay, if you know a certain task name, you can search for the task name using the search task pane. Okay, and then you can search it. So this is the navigation. Okay, this is how you can navigate on the financial offerings and the functional areas, and the set of tasks that you need to do with respect to each of the functional areas or applications, basically. Okay, I'll go back to the home page. Okay, and now let's say the setup navigation. Hope you have understood how you can go to the setup and configurational aspects. Now for the transactional aspect, as I mentioned, in the navigator, that is where you will get all the access of the application uh, and the tasks that you or the place, okay, where you need to carry out the business transaction. Okay, the task that you need to access. So that is where in the navigator you will find it. So I will just open a one case. Okay, like the case of payable, as I mentioned, I will open the place for payables. Okay, where you can perform the business transactions. Okay, so like payables, under that all the activities related to invoice. Okay, I can get it from the invoice workbench. So this has taken me to the invoices page. Okay, where I can perform a lot of activities related to the invoices. So now this is the page. These some things that you see here. Okay, these are called info tiles. Okay, that will display certain key information with respect to the payable invoices. Okay, so similar kind of thing you will find in case of each of the application or the work areas that you access. Okay, with depending upon the tasks that you are to perform in a particular organization. Okay, so this is the to perform all the activities related to invoice. Okay, this is the task or the task list that you can access. Okay, so under this you will find all the activities that you can perform with respect to the invoices. Okay, so this is where you can access the transactional pages. Okay, all the activities that you need to do as part of the transactions. So this is called the task list. Okay, you can do some search, searches directly with respect to any invoice or supplier details that you want to get from this particular search icon. Okay, the detail aspects of each of the transaction pages or the workbenches I will explain as and when we go into the respective module. But I just wanted to show you at this during the beginning of the session on how we can see the transactional pages as well. Okay, now going back to the home page. Now this home page also, this is not just what you can see. If you scroll down, you will see a lot of other things. Okay, so depending upon the layout of the page, this is the home page. There are three different layouts. I will explain that. Okay, but this is called the newsfeed layout. The layout that you are seeing right now is called the newsfeed layout. Okay, so under that, if you scroll down, you will see many more things. Okay, things to finish. So these are kind of the notifications that come up to you. Okay, this is shown as part of the newsfeed layout. Okay, under this section, it will definitely be accessible from the here also. But yeah, this is as a layout it is showing. More interactive layout this is. Okay, then any kind of news and announcement that is to be published in the organization, it would come as part of the news and announcement section. Okay, then below you have certain analytics section. Analytics is basically for the analytic matrices. Okay, matrices. Okay, like in case of HCM infolets. Okay, some aspects related to the HCM analytics. Okay, like graphs and charts with respect to certain aspects of the human capital management. Similarly, in case of general accounting, you will have certain general accounting infolets as it is called. Okay, certain key items. Okay, for analytical purposes. Okay, like in case of general accounting infolets, you can see close the calendar, open sub ledger, the journals. Okay, then reconciliation, certain reconciliation components. Okay, all these would be part of what the analytics. So this will be displayed depending upon certain setups that you do. Okay, similarly for other applications also there are certain infolets available. Okay, so these are all the analytical section, and this is part of what the news feed layout. There are other layouts also. Okay, which is called a banner layout and a panel layout. Okay, there are three types of layout for the landing page or the home page, as you can say. Okay, now just I'll show you the image. So the one that we were seeing is the newsfeed layout. Okay, and there are other ones which is the panel layout. Okay, so if you select or if you set up the home page layout option as a panel layout, your home page will look like this. Okay, the icons will be available. Icons like this will be available. Okay, so these are the again the work areas or where you need to perform the specific activities related to your business operations. Okay, then this is called the banner layout. Okay, so a slight difference between a panel layout and a banner layout. Okay, Only thing is that in case of banner layout, there will be more details available in the this particular place. Okay, and all the icons will be shown below. Okay, so the same thing is vertically shown in this case. This will be the horizontal layout in banner layout, and this will be the in panel layout, it will be the vertical layout. So this is how there are three different layouts available, okay, which can be set up according to the business requirement. Okay, now I'll go back to the application. Okay, so I hope this is the basic level of a navigational aspect that we have seen, and which we will be using more in the coming days, the setup and maintenance, the transactional aspects, as and when we train on those aspects. Okay, now before, as I mentioned, now these are all accesses. Okay, the setup and maintenance, okay, is depending upon the access that you get. Similarly, the transactional application accesses, that is also the part of access, and all these come under what? Under the security administration. Okay, so that is where it is quite crucial, okay, to understand how the security administration works. Okay, how the security administration work, how the accesses are provided. Okay, depending upon, not all people need to have the payable access. Only those respective people who are supposed to have, or part of the payable department should have accesses to the payable application and the activities and the tasks. Similarly, a person who is supposed to do the setup should only have access to the setup aspects. They should not have any access to the transactional. So all these would be part of what? The security administration. Okay, that is where at the beginning itself, it is quite crucial to understand how the security works. Okay, or is how the Oracle, or in Oracle, how the security administration aspects are, or the concepts are, okay, that we need to understand. So there are in any case of security aspects, okay, when it comes to the application security, there are three questions that comes up. Okay, that needs to be answered, and when we answer that, that forms the part of the security administration. Who? Okay, the question of who. That means who all need to be given access. Okay, that is the first question when it comes to the security administration. Okay, now what is the second question? What is the access that needs to be provided? Okay, that is the second question. Okay, and then third question is which data. Okay, now which data means what is the type of data that the person whom the access is being given, okay, needs to have access to. Not all people should have all data access. Okay, because there are certain sensitive informations. There are a lot of sensitive information when it comes to business. That is why security administration, okay, is the key thing when it comes to the ERP applications. Okay, so that is where not all people need to be given all kinds of access. Not all people need to be given to all type of all kinds of functions. Not all people need to be given the access to all type of data. So that is where we need to keep in place or put in place certain security measures. So who will answer what? Who are the people, or who are the users of the business who need to be given access to the application? Okay, the Oracle Fusion application that the business has deployed. Okay, that is where you get the access of who, or you get the answer to who all need to be given access. It is the business users. Therefore, a credential, okay, related to the user need to be created. A user has to be created first of all, and certain ID password, a certain password need to be kept in place, and it needs to be given to the person who is supposed to access the application. Okay, that is where the user creation from a security perspective comes in. Okay. Okay, then what is the access that needs to be provided? Okay, what is the access means? The functions. Okay, what all functional access need to be provided? Okay, so having access to the payable application, okay, and the functions under it would come as part of what? The question as what? What are the functions, or what all functional access need to be provided? Okay, I hope the concept or the topic is basically clear from the perspective of what as a component. Okay, then which data. Okay, so which data we will definitely understand again in the coming slides in detail on the what and which data aspect. So who is, I hope it is clear. It is the user who is given the access based on the user ID and the password. Now in Fusion, in Oracle Fusion, okay, the question of what is answered by a role-based security model. Okay, in Fusion, it is based on the roles that are assigned to a particular user, that he gets access to certain applications and the tasks to be performed as part of those applications. Okay, that is where it is called as a role-based security model. Okay. Now, Oracle Fusion uses a role-based access control security model. Users are assigned roles through which they gain access to functions and data within the applications. Okay. So again, going to the same example, payable. Okay, a person who is part of the payable department. Okay, will get an access or will get a role in the application related to payables, which in turn will make sure that he has the accesses to perform the payable related activities. Okay, the role that will be provided to him, okay, will make sure that he gets access to the payable application and all the functions that he can perform as part of the payable department. Okay, like creation of invoice, or canceling an invoice, similarly making a payment, all these aspects, okay, that he will get through the role that he is assigned. Okay, and also the data also related to the payable, like the invoice data or the payment data, all those accesses also he will get again with the role provision that is being provided to him. Okay, now all of the user roles are active concurrently. Okay, let's say for example, a person is supposed to do the activity related to payable invoice, and a person is also supposed to do the activity related to the payments. Okay, the same person is handling all both the invoice related activity and the payment related activity. So that is where he will be given the two roles. Okay, role related to payable invoices, and also the role related to the payable payments. Okay, and all the roles would be active concurrently. Okay, so this particular point will be more relatable for people who already have an experience on the on-premise or the e-business suite applications of Oracle. Okay, so in that case, just for those people to understand, uh, the role in e-business suite, they had to do a switch responsibility. So from one application to another, if they wanted to move to, they had to switch the responsibility. Only then they would get access to the particular set of activities that can be performed. But in this case, it will be active concurrently. So they just need to navigate to a particular task or workbench. Okay, or like invoice workbench, they just need to navigate. They don't need to do the switch responsibility thing. Okay, so that is where this statement lies. All of the user roles are active concurrently. Okay, users do not have to select a role when they sign in. So this is what it is being mentioned, these two things. They don't have to select a particular role to get the access of the particular application or the functions to be performed. Okay. Now we will understand certain examples of the role-based security model. I have already given you an example related to the payables. Okay. Now we will understand it using the particular diagram. Okay. There is a person called Christopher. Okay, who is what? Who is the employee of the organization? Now, since he is the employee of the organization, he would have to perform certain activities, okay, in the ERP. Now, that is where the first question of who is getting answered. Okay, he needs to be created. The person needs to be created, first of all, as a user. Okay, the user will be created and a user ID will be given. Okay, now in the organization, first of all, he is an employee. Okay, so all certain activities, him being an employee, certain activities related to his being an employee needs to be performed. Okay, which will be more or less part of the human capital, management, like, raising leaves or, recording absences. All those things are part of his duties as an employee, as a task he has to do the employee. That is where a role called employee needs to be assigned to him so that he can carry out those activities. Okay, the employee as a role needs to be assigned to him. Now, being an employee, he would be part of certain department within the organization. So he has to carry out his role, okay, being a part of a particular department, okay, or carry out his job being a part of a particular department. Okay, so let's say this is the general accountant that the example is there. So he is part of the finance and accounting team that manages, the general accounting activities, and, who are responsible to finalize the financial statements, publish the financial statement, all those things. Okay, so they are part of the general accounting department. Okay, and as part of the general accounting department, this person, Christopher, is what? Christopher is a general accountant. His role or his job, okay, in the organization will be that of a general accountant. In Oracle, there is a role defined by the name called general accountant, which gives him access to functions, okay, that he needs to perform as a general accountant. Like, as an example, creation of a journal entry. Okay, so accountants, people from accounting background, or who have at least a little bit of knowledge of the accounting aspects, will understand what is a journal entry creation. So that is the task of what? The task of an accountant. Okay, that is where he needs to have the access as of a general accountant role. Okay, so this role that is there in Oracle, predefined in Oracle, that needs to be assigned to this particular user because he is supposed to carry out those activities. Okay, similarly, accounting manager. So this was the junior accountant role. Now, accounting manager, being a part of or being a manager of the accounting department. Okay, a manager will have his own privileges or his own tasks and activities that he will have to manage, which a general accountant or a normal, subordinate accountant will not have. Okay, so that is why there is another role called general accounting manager, which gives certain additional, privileges. Like, the example would be closing of the accounting periods. So every period, okay, it is a very known process that every accounting period or every period, every month end, there is a closing activity that happens. Every quarter end, there is a closing account books closing activity that happens. Similarly, every year end, there is a closing activity that happens. So now, in order to perform, it is the manager who needs to have the access of the closure process, not the subordinate. Okay, not a normal accountant. So that is why, since this person is also supposed to is a manager, okay, in the department, he needs to have the additional rights of closing the periods, and now that has been segregated into a different role, okay, called the general accounting manager. Now that also needs to be assigned because he has to carry out his duties, his job of being a general accounting manager. So that is where these roles, both these roles will have to be assigned to this person. That is how, that is why it is called a role-based security model in Oracle Fusion. Okay. I know it is a bit slow, but this is very crucial to understand. Okay. That is why I'm, emphasizing on and going slow on these aspects. Okay. Now, so this was the example that you have understood. Now, there are many roles that you will see when you actually go to the security administration and the roles section in Oracle application, which we will do after this. Okay, you will see all these roles. Okay, just as an example, whatever seeded roles are there. What is the meaning of seeded roles? The Oracle standard roles that Oracle provides along with the applications. Okay, so these are the roles that you can see: general accountant role, general accounting manager role, account payable, invoice supervisor role. So this will be the job role that needs to be assigned to people who are supposed to carry out the invoice. Similarly, account payable payment supervisor role. Okay, people who are supposed to supervise the payment related activities or carry out certain payment activities. They need to be assigned to this particular role. Okay, so similarly for each of the functional area, okay, in our business organization, which is again categorized as multiple applications. Okay, there are certain roles that will give them access. Okay, so accounts receivable manager, asset accountant, asset accounting manager, cash manager, which is for the treasury. Okay, then expense for the expense application accesses and the tasks that need to be performed as part of the expenses. Okay, department. Okay, so these are all certain examples of seeded roles that you can see. Okay, now application implementation consultant role, that will be part of, or this role will be required by all the people, okay, all the consultants, basically the functional consultants who are supposed to implement or configure the applications as per the business requirement. So this will make sure that you get the access to the setup and maintenance, this application implementation consultant. Okay, so this will be the role that will be assigned to all of you. Let's say you are the functional consultant in an organization, part of the implementation team. So in order to do the configurations, you will need the role assigned to your user called application implementation consultant. Okay. So these are all the job roles. Okay, now all these roles are again categorized, okay, into, okay, I'll stop here. If you have any questions at this point, you can ask. Until what we have covered, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Now these job roles, okay, that we are talking about, these are all called job roles, depending upon the job that is to be performed by the person or the user, okay, of the Oracle ERP applications. Now these are categorized into multiple things, okay. Some of them are called abstract roles and the others are called job roles. Now abstract role is what? Abstract role groups users without respect to specific job, such as an employee. Okay, so employee as a role, even though it is a role, it is not related to a job that they are performing in the organization. That is why those kinds of roles are called abstract roles. So a user is just an employee. Okay, that is where employee is called an abstract role. Okay, just an employee that he just needs to perform some activities with respect to the being an employee. So that is where an employee role has to be assigned. It is not related to a specific job or his job within a specific function in the organization. Okay, that is why they are called abstract role. But all the other roles, okay, would be called a job role because they indicate, okay, they indicate a particular job that they need to carry out within the organization. So the example would be accounts payable manager, because he is an accounts payable manager within the organization, okay, within the accounts payable department. His job is that of a accounts payable manager. That is why there are roles defined like that. Okay, and hence it is called a job role. Okay, job role groups users in support of the duties likely to be performed, the duties that they need to carry out. Okay, such as the job of a accounts payable manager. Now, a job role, okay, how it is constituted. Okay, so a job role is actually a group of multiple duty roles. Now you are understanding, now you're going to understand the architecture with respect to the job roles or this role-based security. Okay, how the roles are basically constituted or defined in Oracle. Okay, now job roles have duty roles, or a job role is a group of duty roles. Okay, and duty roles are a group of certain privileges. Okay, now what are these? I'll explain by example. Job role, duty role, and privileges. Okay, let's say the job role is the accounts general accountant. Okay, general accountant is the job role. Now, general accountant being a job role, there are many duties that he has to perform as part of the general accountant. Okay, now what are those? Like, uh, creation of journals. Okay, similarly, let's say managing of journals. Okay, or running certain reports. Okay, similarly, let's say closing off or period management, I would say period management. Okay, so these are kind of duties that he has to perform being a general accountant or a general accounting manager. Okay, that is where he these are the duties that he has to perform. Now, in order to perform certain duties, okay, again he needs to have certain privileges. Privileges means he has to have certain uh, you know uh, again, how do I put it? Privileges, like certain accesses. Okay, certain specific accesses which are called privileges. Okay, now let's say, for example, in case of creation of journal, there would be certain actions like create icon, create button. Okay, or similarly posting action. Okay, in order to post the journal. Similarly, delete action in order to delete the journals. Okay, or similarly sending or submitting for approval action. Okay, so these all actions within a particular duty, okay, are called privileges. Okay, a set of privileges together would form a duty. Like in this case, creation button, posting action, delete action, submitting for approval. All these are privileges. Okay, all these together will form a duty of creation of journal. Okay, and then multiple duties, okay, like that will in turn club together to form a job role. That is how the architecture of a role is in Oracle. Okay, multiple privileges are there. Multiple privileges together they form duties, and multiple duties together they form the job. Okay, and in turn they are called the job role. This is how a particular job role is created in Oracle. Okay, is the example clear? Do you have any confusion around it?
It's clear, sir.
Okay, thanks. So this is how the job roles are created or configured in the Oracle. Okay, so this is just for your understanding as a basic concept of the role-based security. Okay, and then we will understand the data role after. Okay, once we see in the system, how a user is created and then the roles are assigned. All those things we will see first of all in in the application, and then we will understand what are data roles. Okay, so now going to the application. Okay, in order to access, the security administration part. Okay, you need to have access to something called security console. Okay, so in the navigator, under tools, okay, you will have something called security console. Just a moment, let me see if the security console is available here.
Chandhu, can you take in EDRX1?
Yeah, I will do that. I'm changing the instance because in this instance, I don't have access. So as a user, as a admin user, I have the access. Okay, I have my login ID credentials. Okay, I'll go to navigator. I'll go to tools, and under tools, I have something called security console. Now, this security console access also is something which is provided to what? The admin. Okay, so admin needs to have certain, role that needs to be assigned called an IT security manager. Okay, so that person who is supposed to be an admin needs to have the IT security manager role. Only then he will access to this particular management of users and roles and all those activities. Okay. So let's say this person, Chris.William, is the IT administrator. He has the access to what? He has the access to the IT security manager. Therefore, he's able to go into these roles, okay, or users. Now, in an organization, if there is a new person, okay, who is need or there is an employee who is to be added as a user, okay, then in that case, you will come to this, the IT security admin will come to this security console and he will click on users. Okay, and then he will say add user. Okay, so by adding user, this is the place where these are the options that would come up or the fields that would come up which needs to be filled. Okay, what is the associated person type? Okay, whether he is a worker or a none. Okay, so worker would be if he is a part of the HCM employee list, then he needs to be assigned as a worker. Okay, and then you need to fill up, or the admin needs to fill up certain information here. The first name of the person who needs to be assigned the access. Okay, let's say the name is Joyce William, last name is William. So the name, first name and last name needs to be entered. Email ID. Okay, so any email ID that is associated in the organization, each of the person will have their own email ID, so that needs to be provided. Okay, then the username. So if an email ID is provided, then the username will be populated as the email ID. Okay, or else whatever username you want to populate, that can be provided. So as per the policy of the organization. So every business organization has certain policies related to security management also. Okay, certain related to user creations, related to multiple things. Okay, so according to the business policy, that has to be, the name has to be provided. Okay, then the password. Okay, a default password needs to be set. Okay, okay, that default password we have entered. Okay, and then the role that this person's role, whatever role this person has in the organization. Okay, that needs to be assigned. Now, how do you add a role? You will add a role from here. Click on add role. Okay, let's say this person is supposed to be first of all, this is an employee, right? So the employee related role needs to be provided. So that is where you will search in this list, in the search pane as an employee, and you need to select this role. And then you say add role membership. So the role of an employee is assigned. Now he will be able to perform the task related to him being an employee or this person being an employee. Okay. Now, apart from that, he is part of what, or this person is part of what? The accounts payable team. So this person needs to, or this user needs to carry out his duties related to the accounts payable function or accounts payable department. So that is where the role related to accounts payable need to be provided. So from the seeded available role list, you will provide the accounts payable, role, like this case, accounts payable invoice supervisor. So this role is added, job role is added. Okay. Similarly, let's say this person is also part of the asset management team. Then the asset related role has to be provided. Okay. Search and then select and then click on add role membership. Then click on done. Let's say that's it. These are the roles that needs to be provided. Now, since you have added the roles, all the roles are available here. Okay, and this has been assigned to the user. Okay, then you would do save and close. So this is how you create a user to provide the user access. Okay, and then you provide the role access depending upon the roles that they need to carry out in the organization. Okay, so these are the two things that we have provided as part of the security. Okay, now, as I mentioned, right, the roles are constituted of what? Duties and privileges. Okay, multiple privileges, they roll up together to duty roles, and then multiple duty roles, they roll up to be a job role. So let us see or understand the privileges and roles with respect to a particular role called accounts payable invoice supervisor. Okay, so I will click on roles. That is where I can see the details related to the roles. Okay, I will search the role called accounts payable invoice supervisor. Okay, so this is the role that is selected. Now under this, you see there are privileges. Okay, and then there are certain duties. Okay, so these roles, this shows all the duties. Okay, so how do you identify whether it is a duty role or not? Okay, do you see something called duty? Okay, manager duty. Okay, like in this case, let's say this AP submit payable, invoice aging report to, in order to submit a report, okay, related to payable invoice processing. Okay, this is the duty that is assigned to what? The accounts payable invoice supervisor. Similarly, invoice processing, to process the invoice, that means create the invoice or, maintain the invoice, search the invoices, all those things, there is a duty assigned. Okay, so this is one of the duty. Okay, duty roles. So you can identify a duty role with the name. Okay, so these are all the standard ones. So you see here, Oracle AP payable invoice processing duty. Okay, duty. Okay, so multiple duty roles together, they form the job role. And now again, these duty roles are formed by what? Certain privileges. So how can you see what are the privileges under this accounts payable invoice supervisor? So if I select on privileges, it will give me the privilege. So like, in this case, cancel is a privilege. Cancellation of invoice is a privilege. So that is where you get the privilege names. So how this particular role has been created by Oracle? It has included multiple duty roles under it, and each of these duty roles have multiple privileges. Okay, cancel payable invoice is a privilege, check fund is a privilege. Similarly, correct import is the privilege, apply prepayment is a privilege. Okay, so multiple privileges have been formed together a duty role, and multiple duty roles together in turn form a job role. Okay, so this is how the architecture is of the roles in Oracle Security Administration. Okay. So I hope now you have understood the concept behind the roles. Also, you have understood how the users can be created and how you can assign the respective roles that they need to carry out based on the functions that they need to carry out in the organization. Okay, those two things we have covered. Okay. Now this is what? This is the standard or an Oracle standard role that we have seen. Let's say, business wants to create a custom role. Okay, custom role means a role that is not available in Oracle as a standard offering, but rather you want to create it as a custom role in the application. Okay, which is not already available. So how can you create it? So you can create it from the roles section. Okay, and you can say create role. Okay, so you can give the name of the role. Let's say, for example, AP invoice inquiry. You will have to provide the name of the custom role that you are defining. Okay, you will have to provide the role code. Okay, now what is the role category? Okay, whether it is a HCM related role, whether it is a finance related role, okay, all those things you will have to provide. Now, since we are creating what? We are creating a job role, okay? And a job role is something that you can assign to the user, okay? You cannot assign a duty role directly to the user. Why? Because a duty role forms a job role, okay? And a job role is in turn that is to be assigned to the user. Now, therefore, a custom role that you are defining, okay, custom job role that you are defining, you need to assign the category called a job role. Now, let's say it is for financials that you are creating, right? For the financial department. So that is where you need to select the category called financial job role. Okay. And then you need to provide the description, what exactly this role is being created for. Okay. Job role created, custom job role, I would say, because this is not an Oracle job role, but a custom role that you are creating based on the business requirement. Custom job role created for invoice payables, invoice inquiry only. Okay. Okay. And then you will click on next. Okay. Now, this is where you can add certain privileges. Okay. Any privileges that you want additionally, you can add in here by clicking on add security policy. Okay. And that in turn will make sure that the duty roles are added. Okay. Or else you can choose to directly add the duty role also. So where can you add the duty role? Because any job role, okay, in order to function properly needs to have certain duty roles, right? So that is where, okay, you can add a duty role from here. Okay. The seeded duty role you will have to add related to payable inquiry. Okay. AP payables invoice. Okay. For time being, let's say I want to add only the pay invoice creation related, duty. Okay. So okay, here we have. So under this, you will see the duty role related to what? Invoice inquiry. Okay, so that is where you can select this. Okay, so this is the duty role that you are assigning to this particular job role. Then add role membership. Okay, so the duty role has been created. And then click on next. Okay, in here you can directly add the users that needs to have access to this role, or you can go from the earlier process where you can search for the users and add the role from there. Okay, there are two ways in which a role can be assigned. Okay, now in this case, I'm not adding the user from here. I'll click on next. Okay, and then I will save and close. Okay, so the custom AP inquiry role has been created. Okay, and then you want to assign it to the users. Then you will click on users, and first of all, you will select the user to whom you want to assign it. So let us search our earlier user. Okay, and then I will click on that username. I'll click on edit, and then I will add the role. Okay, which is AP invoice inquiry. See, this is the role that we had created. Okay, so job role is created and you will be able to assign it. Only job roles can you directly assign to the users. Okay, you cannot assign a duty role. That is why you create, first of all, a job role under which you assign the duties, access that needs to be, that a user has to perform, that you are assigning, and then you are creating the job role. Okay, so custom role can be created this way, but the setup is not complete for custom role because there are certain data security components that need to be added. Okay, which we will see from the data role perspective. We will see what are those, and then I think for today I will stop it. We will continue with the data role and the remaining aspect related to security administration tomorrow, because this would be quite heavy for you to understand for day one. Okay. That's it. If you have any questions, you can ask, or else we can wrap up.
Yeah, thanks, Chandhu, for your session. Hi team, this is Kumar from admin team. So by today we have completed our free demos. Yesterday and today we are having the free demos, and from tomorrow we are going to share new Zoom meeting link only to the enrolled participants team. So I request you to please confirm your enrollments today so that we can share you the new meeting link starting from tomorrow. From tomorrow we are going to start our regular sessions, and then we are going to share the access to the videos for the website, as which I told in the yesterday session, and also the instance access for practicing purpose, including all the materials, everything.